Hey everyone, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, whether you're live or you're watching the replay. I'm Heather from Divine Ascension Company, and I want to start by saying thank you. Not in an obligatory way, but in a very genuine way. You showed up for yourself today. You said yes to something that probably felt a little scary or uncertain, and that matters. It's actually the first step in everything that we're doing today. So before we dive in, I want to ask you guys a question, and feel free to drop your answer in the comments if you feel called to. Is there something in your life, a pattern, a relationship dynamic, a fear, a wound, anything like that, that you've been trying to heal or change, but no matter what you do, it keeps coming back? Okay, so let's talk about what inner child healing actually is. Because I think a lot of people have this picture in their head that makes it out to be either too soft and fluffy, or more likely, too heavy and overwhelming. And I really want to dispel both of those ideas today. Your inner child isn't a metaphor. It's a real part of you. It's the part of your consciousness that formed before you had the tools to process what was really happening around you, before you knew how to protect yourself, to make sense of things, or to even regulate your emotions. And when something happened that was too big, too confusing, or too painful for that little version of you to process, well, you didn't process it. You filed it away. You stored it in your body. You built a belief system around it in order to survive. And those beliefs have been running in the background of your life ever since. That's why these patterns keep coming back. That's why you can know something intellectually and still find difficulty trying to change it, because knowing it in your mind isn't the same as healing it at the root. Has any of you guys ever done the thing where you know you shouldn't react a certain way? You can see yourself doing it differently, but then you still react the old way despite all of that. Feel free to share your experiences in the comments. I'm genuinely interested to hear what you guys are going through. So here's one thing that I hear most often from my clients. I know I need to do this inner work, but I'm scared of what I'll find. And I get that. I really do. Trust me. I've done this work on myself for many years before I ever did it with my clients. But here's what I want you to know before we go any further. You have already survived whatever happened to you. You already did the hardest part, and you're still here. What we're doing today is not reopening a wound. It's finally giving it enough room to breathe so that it can actually start to heal. And let me be clear about something. We're not going to relive anything. We're going to witness it from a safe distance, with support, with the wisdom of the adult that you are now, standing right alongside that younger version of you. And I want to be honest with you about something else. This is only the first step, one layer. Healing isn't a one-time event, it's a process. And what we're doing today opens that door. It lightens the load. It creates space for everything that comes after, which include like perspective shifts, the forgiveness, the integration. But it all starts here with this, what we're doing today. And time is not linear. And if you don't know exactly what that means, you will when you start your healing journey. Healing is not a straightforward process. It happens in layers. The individual steps look different for each one of my clients. The order may be different. This is a very personalized journey that needs to be tailored to your unique experiences, perspectives, and growth. So today, my goal is simple. I want to show you that this work doesn't have to be as scary as it sounds. And I want to show you what's possible when you finally turn inward to the part of yourself that's been waiting to be seen. I want to help you lighten the load that you've been carrying for far too long, and to show you that you don't have to do it alone. So before we get to the good stuff, I want to explain what you're about to witness, because what I do is a little different from some guided meditation that you might find on YouTube. I have a background in behavioral psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in applied behavior analysis. So I understand how the mind works, how patterns form, how trauma gets stored, how beliefs get built. And that's one layer of what I bring to the table. I'm also a shamanic energy healer and a channel, which means when I work with a client, I'm not just taking them through a visualization. I'm actually energetically connected to them. I can feel what they're feeling. I can sense where the energy is stored, where the resistance is, what's ready to move, and what needs more time. I also open the channel to connect to my clients' guides, their ancestors, their higher self, and the Akashic records, whatever wants to come through in service to this healing session. So if you see me writing things down, it's because I'm receiving information that I want to make sure it gets addressed. And here's the part that makes the biggest difference. If things get overwhelming, I can help alleviate some of the emotional and energetic weight in real time. You're not doing this alone. I'm in it with you 100%. So one last question for those of you listening to consider, as we go through this session today. Is there something that you've been wanting to heal, but every time you approach it on your own, it just feels like it's too much? Like the emotion is too big, or you don't know where to start, or you start and then you have to stop because it gets very overwhelming. That's normal. And that's exactly what having someone in your corner for this kind of work changes. So keep that in mind as we go through today's session. Okay, now for the good stuff. I'm going to do a live presentation of a healing session and what that looks like when you work with me. You're welcome to follow along or just listen to the magic. Before we begin, I want to set the container for everyone who's listening, not just for Courtney, who's going to be going through this healing process today. This is a safe space. There's no judgment here. We're all here for the same reason, to heal, to grow, to understand ourselves a little bit better. So whatever comes up for Courtney and whatever comes up for you as you follow along is welcome here. Don't suppress it. Let it move through you. That's part of the healing process. Okay, let's begin. Hey, Courtney. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Okay. All right. So before we go anywhere, I want to start by asking for your permission. So do I have your permission to help guide you through this experience today?
Yes, you do.
Okay. And do I have your permission to connect you energetically?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect through the solar plexus, which is your power center. And this allows me to feel what you're feeling and to help support you energetically throughout this process. So if things get really heavy, if they get really emotional, if the energy that's stuck is feeling a little overwhelming, anything like that, just let me know and I can take some of that weight for you.
Okay.
And now I want you to give yourself permission out loud or in your mind, doesn't matter. Just give yourself permission to open up to this healing journey, permission to release what's been stored, permission to let this be easier than you might have expected. So tell me, what is it that you're looking to begin healing today? What brought you here?
Um, what's been coming up a lot lately is my voice. There's a huge fear behind me not only using my voice more publicly, like whether that be in my own master classes, on video, in public speaking, but even more so, like even in natural conversations with others, in the way that I respond. Has it evolved over time? Yes, as I've been continually working on this, but it's really heavy right now to where I think there's another layer that wants to release. So I don't know. There's still a huge fear though. I mean, like I'm willing to push through it, but the fear is still very much alive.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you said that this process has evolved over time. What work have you done so far to kind of help with your throat chakra, basically?
Um, well, I do self Reiki every day. I use my voice in, other healing ways like, chanting and just even singing and dancing, and projecting my voice. Uh, I do use crystals from time to time. Not really a lot in my own, more so in my sessions with clients, but that doesn't really have anything to do with me, I guess. Um, uh, it's more just kind of like a pushing through besides, my daily routine of, connecting with my guides and asking for guidance and help and support and doing the self Reiki. The rest of it, even with the conversations with my, an everyday life, that's just more of a push through and doing my becoming more visible online. It's more of, okay, I can do this, just push through, type of thing, even though I'm trembling and shaking while I'm doing it. So,
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up to, I feel like it's your ancestors that are here mostly, and your guides, which you know who your guides are. Um, but I'm getting some different things that we're going to look at today. Um, Part of what I'm here for is to help pull the right thread to follow for this healing session to make sure you get the most effective use of your time. So I'm getting some hits from them. So I'll make sure that each one of those are addressed as we go through. So before we jump into the visualization part, I want us to get grounded together. So close
okay.
your eyes. If you can, feel, I don't know if you're sitting or laying down, but feel your feet on the floor or through your root chakra. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop back. Get comfortable. And I want you to imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet or the root chakra, base of your spine, going down through the floor, through the earth, all the way down, 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 down to the heart of Mother Gaia, to the core of the planet. And I want you to feel her energy. It should be warm and steady and ancient, very nurturing, coming up through those roots. She's not just the ground beneath you, she's your partner in this process. She's here. We're going to release the energy to her later, and she's ready to receive it with open arms. So once we have that connection built, we're going to set a protection bubble. So I want you to imagine a bubble of golden light surrounding you completely, above, below, on all sides. And in your mind or out loud, set the intention that nothing that isn't in your highest good can enter this space. You are safe, you are held, you are protected. And then I want you to take one more deep breath. Okay, now we're going to start with the visualization. In your mind's eye, I want you to see yourself, just you, as you are now, as an adult, standing somewhere that feels neutral or safe. It can be anywhere. It can be inside, outside, a beach, a garden, your house, wherever you feel safe and comfortable. Now, I want you to see me. I'm standing to your right. I'm going to be with you the whole time. You're not doing this alone. I'm right here with you. And then to your left, I want you to invite in your inner child. It doesn't matter what age, the first image that pops in your mind, whatever that looks like, just let them appear to your left. Whatever version that shows up is the right one. And when you see them, just say hello. Let them know that you see them, that you're here. Let them know that they're safe and that we're all doing this together. And then I want you to take their hand in your left hand, and we're going to start. How does your inner child look right now? How do they feel to you?
Um, Hesitant.
Okay. Do you want to give your inner child any more reassurances before we begin?
Sure.
Give them a hug. I like to hug it out with mine.
Me too.
I give mine lollipops sometimes too. Do they feel a little more relieved, a little?
Yeah, I'm getting emotional, so I feel like uh she's a little relieved, like she feels safer now,
Okay. All right.
like
So
she can let her guard down.
good, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to both of you through the solar plexus now. So I'm going to be in it with you. It's not going to be just you two. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want you to think of a moment from your childhood. It doesn't matter which moment in time, it doesn't matter if it was the very first experience, but the first one that pops up into your mind related to your voice being suppressed, that your inner child experienced. And you don't have to do the hardest version, just anything connected to this thread. The first experience that comes to your mind, that will be the right one for today. And as I said before, we're not reliving this experience. We're not reopening the wounds. So we're not jumping in and looking at it from a first person perspective. We're all standing back together and watching it like a movie playing out. So you're not in it, you're watching it from the outside. And as the adult version of you, I want you to tell me everything that you see that's happening with everything that you know now, and let the scene play out before you and tell me what you're seeing.
This is when like a memory that I remember.
Yes.
Uh I can see my dad in the kitchen at the stove, and I am sitting on the other side of the counter, like adjacent to him. And my mom is in her bedroom, which is, I don't know, like 10 feet away, 20 maybe. I don't know. But we're talking about something. I don't even know what the conversation is, like the relevance of the conversation, but I can hear my mom like talking from the bedroom, almost like she's like interjecting into the conversation that my dad and I are talking about. And I stopped what I was saying, obviously, and let her finish what she was saying. And then I tried to continue the conversation with my dad, but then my mom would just keep interjecting. She'd keep interrupting. And again, I don't remember the conversation, but I just know that, and that's been a pattern of hers though. So, but I was in this memory, I'm probably like 12, 13 years old, 12 maybe. Um, and I don't remember a lot. It's funny. I don't remember a lot of my childhood unless someone else brings up a memory and sparks that memory. I don't have clear memories a lot of my childhood. But I do remember that moment. She just felt the need to interject and interrupt throughout the entire conversation. So I don't even know that the conversation between my dad and I even ever really kind of really happened or concluded, because she kept interjecting. And I just remember feeling so frustrated because I couldn't get a word in. And I was like, like I'm not having a conversation with her. I was having a conversation with my dad.
And you said this is a pattern.
Yeah, it's been a pattern my whole life.
Okay. So how did you feel when she was interrupting you?
Very frustrated, very uh like what I had to say wasn't important. Like her, whatever she had to say was more important than what I had to say. And but it got to a point where I could feel that frustration turn into anger because I really just wanted to yell like just stop talking. Just shut up. Um, but I don't think in that memory I did not do that.
Hmm.
I just silenced my voice and let her do her thing, which I did for a very, very, very long time until recent years.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think that the conversation itself is important. I think it's the fact that your mother basically never let you speak, at least in these conversations, in this pattern. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on that suppression of your voice, of not being able to speak your truth, not being able to speak whatever it was, whether it was your emotions or just about a situation, but that suppression, that's what we're going to work through today. So I want you to take a deep breath, and you and your inner child, you did an amazing job. I want you to keep that in mind, what we just experienced, and I want you to turn to your inner child. How are they feeling after watching this scene play out?
Sad.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell that little version of you all the things that you needed to hear in that moment after these things happened with your mom. Everything that wasn't said, everything that you were waiting for someone to tell you, for your dad to tell you, for that comfort, that safety, that love after this experience. I want you to tell your inner child all of those things that you needed to hear.
Out loud or in my head?
Up to you, whatever you're
Okay.
comfortable with. I just felt a change in the energy. Just let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to tell your inner child that they're they're seen, they're heard, they're loved, and that they're safe. And I want you to tell them that you give them permission to be a kid. Let them know that it's safe to play, to rest, to just be, to explore, that they don't have to carry this weight anymore, that you've got it from here. And when you're done, I want you to hug your inner child and let them merge back into you, into your adult self.
Okay.
All right. Now, are you ready to release the energy that you've been carrying around this whole moment?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. First, I want you to repeat after me. Thank you for helping me survive all these years.
Thank you for helping me survive all these years.
Thank you for protecting me.
Thank you for protecting me.
Thank you for helping me carry the weight of my experience so I wouldn't have to do it alone.
Thank you for helping me carry the weight of my experience so I didn't have to do it alone.
I honor you.
I honor you.
Now it's time to go back to Mother Gaia, who welcomes you with open arms,
Now it's time to go back to Mother Gaia with open arms.
to be transformed, where you can serve others as well as you've served me.
Say that again.
Okay, to be transformed,
To be transformed,
where you can serve others as well as you've served me.
where you can serve others as well as you serve me.
I release you.
I release you.
Okay, now we're going to set the intention to tell the energy to present itself in whatever way it wants to, so that we can find out where it's being stored in your body. So, however that resonates with you, however you want to ask, just tell the energy to show itself. And then notice what shifts in your emotions, in the heaviness, the tightness, the physical vessel, whatever shows up, and let me know what comes up for you.
So I'm giving permission
For the
for my for the energy to release.
for the energy to present itself so that we can release it.
Oh, okay.
So what are you feeling shifting? Do you feel anything in your body? Is any emotions coming up?
Well, I was feeling very, very heavy in my chest, and that heaviness is lifting.
Okay.
It's not near as heavy as it was.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start pulling some of that energy out for you. Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Okay. Just let me know when it starts to feel lighter.
I can feel a vibration.
Yeah. Are you feeling anything in your throat chakra at all? Like the base
It's
of the
kind
throat?
of scratchy,
Okay.
dry, if you will.
Okay.
My fingertips are tingly.
Okay.
My left leg is tingly.
Okay.
More so, it's like that energy in my leg is like it starts in my foot and is traveling up my leg. That's how the tingling sensation it feels.
Okay.
That's funny.
Okay. So I've loosened up a lot of this energy that's been in here for a long time. So what we're going to do next is we're going to visualize this energy in your chest, in your throat,
Oh.
and we're going to direct it down because Mother Gaia is waiting. And we're going to, sometimes energy that's been stuck for a while needs a little direction. So visualize that energy where you're feeling that heaviness still, and visualize it moving down through your feet. You're clearly opening the pathways, or you wouldn't have felt that tingling in your legs. So your body knows what to do. So just visualize it going down and releasing that energy out into Mother Gaia, into those roots that we built earlier.
My goodness, I've never felt it move like that before. I mean, I'm no stranger to how energy feels, but
There are certainly different ways to do it. I think this is fun.
well, I think it also speaks to how long it's been there too.
Yeah. Yeah, because that energy, I mean, especially when these experiences happen when you're little and they get stuck for so long, they really kind of become their own root system and get intertwined and interlaced with your energy systems and your nervous system and all of these things. And you kind of have to delicately loosen them up and talk to them and give them the permission to go. Thank them for being here because it's
Mhm.
helpful because sometimes they're resistant if they don't think they've done their job. um, I've channeled energy before, and that's always a fun experience. So we're going to continue, we're going to set the intention to continue allowing that to release. Now, the next step of this is equally as important as releasing those energies, and it's a step that gets missed a lot in other methods. So now that we have this empty space where this energy has been sitting for all these years, now we have to fill that back up. So
Mm.
I want you to imagine a pure golden white light coming down from above, from source energy, from the universe down to your crown chakra. And I want you to imagine that pouring down through the top of your head like a waterfall, going down through your whole entire body. And we're going to set the intention for this universal healing energy, this pure love vibration to pour through your aura, your energy field, your chakras, your entire vessel. And we're going to feel that push everything out that's ready to leave. We're going to set the intention, everything that's stagnant that no longer serves, we're going to push it through to Mother Gaia, who's going to receive it with love, down through your feet, through those roots, and just feel that space being filled back up with just that pure love and healing vibration, that bright golden white energy. We're going to give that a minute to get absorbed. Imagine it being absorbed into every single one of your cells.
It's so beautiful.
This is what the when I talk about my truth tingles, when I get that burst of energy, that's what this feels like. All right. Now I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to express gratitude. We're going to thank the energy again for helping to protect us all these years, for helping us survive, and for doing such an amazing job. We're going to thank Mother Gaia for taking that energy for us and to help us release that. And we're going to thank Source and that universal healing energy for filling our energy system back up, for cleansing our aura, for really filling us up with that love vibration, that home vibration, that frequency that really is what, our body was meant to be. And then when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to the room, back into your body. Take your time. How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah.
I'm a little sap.
Well, that's the point. It's a healing process. The tears are very releasing. The energy, it's
Mhm.
very, that's part of the whole process. So How did that feel for you? What did you experience as you were going through that?
So when I was pushing the energy down into Mother Earth, I could feel it like pulse down through my legs, both of them, but it was more prominent in my left than it was my right.
Mhm.
And I find that interesting because I've always led with a lot of masculine energy. And so I think that um, it speaks to how the feminine, it was stored there and it was just kind of releasing everything that was there so it could kind of come into balance, if that makes any sort of sense.
Because
When I was inviting that, source energy down, I could feel the warmth. It was like warm butter, um, like filling my arms all the way down to my fingertips. I'm like, nope, we can't stop there. We got to fill the rest of it. And then it continued to flow. So that was really, really neat. Um, but it was seeing it was like, it was almost like if I'm looking at me, like when we're looking at, me, the inner child, and you or whatever, and I know we merged, but I could see me in this, like, so my safe place or whatever, we were standing in front of a sunflower field and it was sunset. So, like, there was this beautiful, like, reddish, orange, yellowish color in the, like, upper left. And, but when that light or that life force energy was coming down, I was like this sparkly golden color. It was like almost like translucent almost. And it was so beautiful. um, so that was really cool. The the heaviness in my chest completely disappeared. It's no longer there, but I still feel pretty emotional about everything.
so what I'm going to tell you to do, so I'm going to give you a homework assignment because there's an integration phase after, each step of the healing journey, and that's just as important as doing the actual energy release. So what I want you to do is get a notepad, a piece of paper, a journal, whatever. And anytime anything comes up for you in the next few days about what you experience, whether it's a perspective, a realization, an emotion, anything, but just write it down because the way your thought processes all of that is going to be important to kind of direct you into what that next step of the healing process for this looks like. And what we just did was the energy release part of it. So there's the whole mind, body, spirit, whole system. So we did the energy part, the spirit part, but we have to kind of give the mind, the body, the nervous system, the emotions a chance to kind of catch up and release those stuck things as well. So that journaling will really help, and also that exercise that we just did with the release and the golden white light energy coming through. You can do that as many times as you want whenever you feel any kind of emotions coming up, or if you feel like a old behavior, because you know how the universe tests you and they're going to make sure you got through this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anytime something comes up, you're welcome to do that visualization again and feel that energy come through and release it, because sometimes when these things are stuck for so long, it takes one or two, maybe three passes to kind of let everything go. But you open the
You,
doorway, you started it, so
you know what's funny is the way that you explained um, a grounding to Mother Earth and but releasing back into Mother Earth and connecting with the source energy is exactly how I do my grounding and chakra activations.
yeah. Yep. I mean, it's the
Mhm.
basis for a lot of the stuff that I do because we are essentially bridges between heaven and earth. And we have to stay grounded, especially as we do work on the astral plane or we do any healing or anything like that. So, really keeping yourself balanced in both of those respects is really important. And that goes along with doing healing. It goes along with pretty much anything. Even when I meditate, I do it. When I'm clearing my chakras, I do it. So, it really helps keep that balance.
I just had a a thought pop in my head out of nowhere, which is not strange anymore. But I have this feeling that my heart is connected to my throat and it's wanting to flow freely. And there's part of that is what's keeping, does that make sense?
It
And
does. Yeah.
so I think that might have been why the little girl in me felt sad instead of feeling frustrated and angry. She felt sad.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
So there's another step if you feel so inclined. This is something that I do with my inner child healing sessions for myself as well. Is like I said, I offer my lollipop sometimes. So I'll go into meditation and I'll sit across, crisscross applesauce across from my inner child. It'd be like, hey, talk to me, communicate with me, tell me what you need to say. How are you feeling? And just let them speak. And sometimes that helps because especially if that emotion that they were feeling, that sadness, wasn't really matching what you were feeling from that experience, there could be, like I said, this is a layered process, this whole healing thing there. So there's could be something else that she's sad about that she wants to tell you that could also lead to whatever that next step of this healing journey looks like for you.
Sure, yeah.
Because I'm getting, and I went through this too with my throat chakra blocks, because the throat chakra is attached to the sacral, but it's also attached to the heart. So when you, this is why we normally work from the bottom up when we clear our chakras, because they're foundational, they build upon the last one. But when you, the heart is the bridge, so there's always so much that we layer and protect ourselves with. And this, for example, what we just did was about the throat, but it was, there's also other things attached to it. So this was your parents, so there's that emotional part about it. There was the fact that you were so young, so there's, before you learn how to regulate your emotions, so the way that you at that age, at that perspective, process what happened in whatever way you could before you stored it, there could be other emotions, there could be, other perspectives that maybe that little version of you saw that the adult version of you might have forgotten or suppressed or whatever. So there is many different ways that you can go about taking this to the next step, to the next level of healing that with your inner child.
Okay. And I think what always made me sad, it wasn't until my 20s, I have this memory, that I finally worked up the courage to ask my mom why she loved my brother more than she loved me.
Mhm.
And she goes, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Why do you love my brother more than you love me?" And she's like, "Why would you ever think that?" And I was like, "Because he gets all the attention. He gets, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, he gets what he wants. I mean, like just everything. And like I get looked over. I feel like my presence is optional. All the things." She's like, "I can't believe you actually feel that way." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "Courtney, you've always been just so independent. You've always been, you're not as needy as he is. He's always been the needy child." And I was like, "Well," and I didn't say it then, but I say it to myself now. That may all well be well and good, but that's not how it felt. You might actually, the intention is you gave him more attention because he was needy, but it made me feel less loved. It made me feel like I was like I was less than, that I wasn't as important, and it didn't matter whether, it's like any time that I got positive attention from my parents, he would have to find a way to outshine me, whether that was good or bad. If he couldn't find it in a positive way, he would then go get in trouble so that it would automatically get directed back towards him. And so I just learned to bypass it, really, like I learned to just say, well, that's just how our family operates.
So do you think that, because it sounds like that could be part of the root of why your inner child felt sad, because not only are is your mom suppressing your voice and not letting you speak, but underneath that is already that feeling that she doesn't love you as much as your brother. So now this is just like icing on the cake. We're like, okay, clearly this is just re-emphasizing the fact that I don't feel loved, because now not only am I not getting her attention, but now I'm not even allowed to speak. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Right. That's exactly how it felt back then. Now, I know now that's not the case. I know she loves me more than anything. In fact, I know I know that she probably loves me more than my brother. She don't ever say anything. But there are still times where the way she shows it just is not how somebody that really loves someone should show someone. And I know that looks different for everybody, but it's not until I started this journey where she's really showed gratitude or little pieces of support,
Mhm.
because she'll say things like, how did I ever get a daughter that was so intelligent, or how do I have a daughter that knows so much more than I do, that I can go to my daughter for advice and support. And I'm just like, and while that I know she meant it in a very caring way and endearing way, I'm just like, but I'm not the only one that does it. There's lots of people out there that have that dynamic, like I don't know. I know she does love me with her whole heart.
Mhm.
It just, I think that the wound is so deep
Yeah.
that it's lasting, like that.
Yeah.
It's how like you can forgive but you will never forget, type of
Mhm.
thing, which is exactly what I've done. But I think it goes back lifetimes. I mean, it's more than just my mom.
Yeah.
you
So,
know the persecution, all of it.
oh yeah, there's definitely, especially when it comes to the throat chakra, for healers, for light workers, things like that, there's always plenty of layers. And so even with your mom, even though knowing what you know now, that energy that behind how you felt at that time is still in there. That's still the wound that needs to be released, that needs to be felt, that needs to be, you know, coddled a little bit and be like, okay, we've shifted perspectives now. Let's go back. Let's reassure our inner child that that wasn't the intention. Help them understand that, it wasn't their fault and this isn't, work through that process. But also, when I've been preparing for this all week, and in meditation I would get glimpses and visions of how this was going to go. And it's interesting because I told you this before. I know that you have past lives in the Aztec time period, and I kept getting this vision of these bright colored snakes, reds, yellows, bright colored snakes, but it was like a pattern. It was artwork, and it was very Aztec drawing type style artwork. So that might be something to explore.
Like hieroglyphics. How do you say that?
Hieroglyphics,
Hieroglyph. Yeah, like
similar
that.
to that, yeah, kind of, but I'll draw it for you and I'll show you. But then I was getting other brightly colored animals, and I think there's something about your visibility, about your throat chakra, that has to do with those past lives as well. And so that kept coming through. And there's also one other thing that was coming through even today too, that I wanted to talk to you about before we wrap up. So when I saw you in my mind's eye and I was connected to you and your guides and stuff, like, do you do you feel the amount of love and support? Like that room that you're standing in, it's standing room only. Like you are surrounded by so many guides, ancestors, angels, loved ones. They're all surrounding you so much. And there's so much, I could feel it even now coursing through my body. There's so much love and support surrounding you all the time. And I wanted to know if you ever feel that, like truly feel that.
Um, yes and no.
Okay.
I know that it's there and I do feel it when I'm intentional about, you know, uh being in the moment and in connection. I do feel it. But a lot of times I get so sidetracked and all that that I lose track and I don't. So in that moment particularly though, when we were standing in front of that field in the sunset, it was so peaceful. So peaceful. And you could tell just how I personally, my adult self felt supported.
Mhm.
But even how quickly my inner child went from hesitant to
Mhm.
an exhale. Like it didn't take much for I knelt down on one knee and put my arms around her, kind of like I do my kiddos in class. It was funny that it happened that way, but I knelt down on one knee and put my arms around her and brought her in, and it was just like this immediate sigh
I felt
of
it.
relief.
I felt it.
And
I felt the
and
immediate.
I don't transition quite that fast that quickly. So that tells me that there was just an abundance of support and love there. I know that now. I wouldn't have known it back then. You know what I mean?
Right. So one of the things that I can do is because we're connected at the solar plexus, and because I haven't disconnected yet. So they asked me to ask you if I could facilitate this for you, but they want to show you what their vibration, their support, their love, that energy feels like. So, with your permission, I kind of just want to open that valve up for you so you can feel what they are trying because they're constantly sending you love and support, and they want you to feel what that feels like. They want to bridge, like, open that connection so that you can have a better way of having that intimate connection with them. So do I have your permission?
That's so funny that this came up because I asked that specific question this morning when I was connecting. Instead of going through my thing and like, what does Courtney need to know today? Or, all the other little things that I ask, I said, what is it that you would like Courtney to see, hear, or know or feel? And on top of that, how anybody that wants to step forward to let me know how we communicate, how what your energy feels like, how I can recognize your energy when you're around. That was that specific question. I was just like,
Well, that explains why there's so many, because I've worked with you before and it's usually just your guides. So, but legitimately, like, you are surrounded by like I can't even see the room behind you. It's just there's so many people there supporting you, and they want me to help you feel what their vibration feels like, essentially. So, do you want me to do that
yeah,
for you? Okay. So, I have
should
your
I lay
permission.
back down?
It's up to you. I don't want to overwhelm you because it can be overwhelming feeling all of that come through. So
Well, then
I'm
I'll
going to
lay down.
start slow, but all I'm doing is I'm the empty vessel. I'm just the messenger. I'm just facilitating the connection, but we're just going to open up your heart space a little bit. So I want you to drop down, take a deep breath, and just forget any expectations of what this is supposed to feel like, any connection that you might have had before. We're starting fresh, blank space. And just focus on your heart chakra, your heart center, and tell me what you feel. Okay? We're going to start slow.
Well, I can feel my heart thumping.
Okay? Just really allow yourself to be open to receive. Set that intention. I'll open it up wider for you. And it may come through as visuals, it may come through as a knowing, as a feeling, as an emotion, as a physical sensation. Are you allowing it in?
I don't know.
Uh, I feel like I'm feeling some resistance, but that's okay. We can do it again another time. And honestly, we're sending like the vibration through, and I kind of get the feeling that there's going to be a point where you're doing the dishes or you're doing something mundane and you're not thinking about it, and you're going to get this overwhelming sense of love, and it's going to come through when you're not thinking about it. But the intention is set, the energy has been sent. So when you're ready to let it through, it'll come through.
I can feel like a very slight buzzing throughout my whole body, but nothing like
You can ask
over.
them to turn it up. Ask them to turn it up.
Hey, yo, turn the volume up. Ooh, okay. This sounds, it probably doesn't sound weird, but I felt from my heart. I don't know what this has to do with feeling love and support, but from my heart, I feel like something wants to come out of my throat, like almost, but not like in a throw up type of way, but like something's moving up and wanting to come out.
That's probably the resistance that I'm feeling, because there's probably still some blocks in the throat chakra. Obviously, there's still some things that need to be worked through, but that's them trying to help you release that.
Okay. That was a weird feeling.
Yeah. I know what you're experiencing though, because when I first started channeling, I would have something very similar. What I'm guessing
It
is,
was almost like a ball or something, like a
mm,
small, you know what I mean? That just kind of rolling up and
yeah,
I didn't feel like sick to my stomach like I wanted to throw up. No, it was just something moving.
just energy. Yeah. All right. Well, the connection is made, the intention is set. You can ask them to do that with you anytime. Um, it's just going to be a matter of getting comfortable and letting it come through, and working through that resistance. And again, I keep seeing this picture in my mind of you doing dishes or something, and you're thinking about something else, and you're just going to be like overwhelmed with this feeling of love, and it's going to come through when it's ready, but it's there.
I would almost, it's funny you said that I'm in the kitchen because that's my most regulating place
Yeah.
to be is in the kitchen.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Do you have any questions or anything before we wrap up?
Um, Other than the journaling, is there anything else? I mean, I'm guessing it's pretty standard, drinking lots of water and,
Yeah.
taking
Yep.
it easy type
Yeah.
of thing. So,
Listen to your body. There, you might need extra rest. Definitely drink the water. Um, and yeah, just your body knows what to do. Your body knows how to recover. Your body knows how to continue to let that energy release. So, and again, if you start to feel anything come up, that heaviness, any of those same sensations, you can always do that visualization again with the Mother Gaia and the source energy waterfall. That'll help,
okay.
if anything is residual or left behind, or if it needs another pass through, that will help. So between that and
Do
the
you have recommendations on how often? I mean, like, because I wouldn't gather you'd want to do it like every day. How spacing wise, or is it just kind of intuitively led, like whenever you feel the heaviness? Or could you just say, today feels like a good day to do another pass by?
quite honestly, you could do it as often as you want. Like, I do it. I don't do the like release of inner child energy like every day, but the golden waterfall you do every day because
Oh
you can
yeah,
use
that I
that
do every
for
day.
anything, right? For
Yeah.
clearing your chakras, for releasing any stagnant energy. I do the same thing when I take a shower with the water. So honestly,
Hmm.
it doesn't hurt to do it however often you want to. That's completely up to you, but it is very intuition based. Like whenever you're like, I'm feeling a little emotional about what just happened, or thoughts are coming up, or I feel that heaviness coming back, whatever your intuition will tell you when you should do it again.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being my guinea pig today. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I feel so much lighter.
Good. That's the point. That's the point.
I really do. I mean, I know there's more layers to this, but
There always.
even just that, it feels so much lighter. Maybe even just the confronting of it, because I've always, there's been so many times where I'm like, why am I still triggered by this? Why am I da 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 da? Why am I the I've been working on this for so long, why won't it go away?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have learned to kind of shift my focus and shift my lens even, to so that it's not so that the way that I respond is not as heavy as what it used to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as you do the journaling, and that's kind of the point, is as these things come up and you start writing them down, you'll start to have more of those perspective shifts. And maybe you might put yourself in your mom's shoes and be like, okay, well, now I understand that she was doing it from this perspective, not because she wanted to cut me off or whatever. And now you also have that other underlying, emotion of not feeling like your mom loved you as much as your brother. So that alone, you're already starting to get to that next step of the healing layers of this, because now you're starting to find those other underlying causes, which is going to contribute to what those triggers are as well that need to be addressed at some point.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.